and welcome back to the Cool Kitchen. Today I'm going to teach you how to make soda bread. So welcome back. It has been a long time and as you can see, this is the reason that I haven't made any videos in the past 6 months. Hopefully we'll be able to make more videos in the future, even though that's not a promise. So for soda bread, the first ingredient you'll need is flour, obviously. So I've got a mix of both plain flour and wholemeal flour. 200 grams of plain flour, just plain white flour, and another 250 grams of wholemeal flour. So we want a total of 450 grams. So obviously if you want to have it a little bit wider, you can put a little bit more of the white flour in, or same with the wholemeal. I think it's nice to have a mix of both, but make sure that the total is equal to 450 grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flour and just put it straight into a bowl, and to this I'm going to add just a small teaspoon of salt and the same of bicarb of soda. And then what I like to add is just 1 tablespoon of sugar. It just adds a little bit of sweetness without being too sweet, and it's quite nice. So just mix that in as well. So most recipes call for 400 milliliters of buttermilk at this stage. My recipe is a little bit different, and I find that the results that I get with this are actually nicer. That's why that's the recipe that I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to use an egg and just put it into one of these measuring cups. So just put the egg in, and then using plain yogurt, so unsweetened. I'm just going to add just 2 big rough spoons, actually more, there we go, 3. This again is just, you know, up to you. If you want to just use milk, it works as well, but the yogurt does give it a slight tang, which is nice. And now for the rest of the wet ingredients, I'm just going to top it off with some milk. You can use, well, I'm using soy milk, but you can just use any type of milk that you prefer. And what you want is just to top it off so that it adds up to 400 milliliters. And then just using a fork, just break up the egg and mix everything together. So now, just creating a well in the middle of the flour, I'm just going to start pouring this buttermilk into the well, and just mixing it with a fork. Scrape that out. Continue stirring until it's all well combined. So as you can tell, it's all well combined and just come together. So the next things that I'm going to add are optional, and that's your way of being creative with this bread. Is well, I'm going to add some dried currants to it. Just roughly how much you want. You know, I'm putting in just 2 handfuls, and then I'm also going to get some mixed nuts here. And because there's quite big chunks in there, what I'm going to do is just start pounding them in the mortar and pestle just to break them up a little bit. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, what you can do is just put them in a Ziploc bag, and just with a rolling pin or a wooden spoon, just bash them up, and you'll get the same results. So that's them just roughly pounded. Just throw them in there, And then just using my hands, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start mixing them in. There's still some flour in the bottom, and you'll pick that up as well as you're going along. So I've buttered and floured my my tin. This is just a normal loaf tin, and I'm going to put my batter in. Well, just press it into the edges. There we go. It is quite a sticky batter, so don't worry about that too much. So a good tip, if it's sticking too much and you can't really push it in, just take a spoon and dip it into some milk or water, whatever you've got on hand, and you'll notice that it'll just work much better for you, because it'll not stick as much, and you can get it into the corners. So just try and get it quite smooth at the top. And this actually helps for our next step, because what we're doing is we're just going to take a brush and just brush some milk over the top. You can be quite generous, but you don't want to have it too wet, but just cover it nicely. And what I like to do, but you don't have to, is just put some oats on there. Just some regular porridge oats, nothing fancy. You can also put just spread it evenly. You can put some seeds on there or whatever, or nothing, just the milk. So this is it, ready to go into an oven. I've got my oven preheated at 200 degrees Celsius, and this is going to bake for at least half an hour. But we're going to come and check it, because every bread's different. It depends on what kind of flour you're using, or your oven, or a whole load of things, and the size of it, the shape of your tin, all those things will matter. So after half an hour, come in and we're going to check if it's ready or not. So it's been 40 minutes. I've checked it at half an hour and it still needs a little bit. So I'm going to test it again. Just using a toothpick, you just stick it into the middle. And if it comes out clean, with no batter on it whatsoever, which this is, then it's ready. So I'm just going to leave this here to cool, and whenever it's cooled down or just slightly warm, then we can cut into it and taste it.